Welcome to the Help or Be Brave podcast show, where we have great ideas on how you can help save lives. I'm Amy Ford.
And I'm Jessica Russo.
And today we're going to be talking to our friend Heather Berner, who is with the National Safe Haven Alliance. And she's just a firecracker, super excited about what she does and where she serves. And it's very unique in the movement, but very much needed. And you're going to love to hear her why. It's hard, but also it just inspired a whole, like her just totally jumping into the pro-life movement, totally switching professions and all of that. You're going to love it. Heather, are you there?
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I know we get to run in the same circuits a lot and be at the same conferences, CareNet and Heartbeat, and I'm not even sure which all ones that we've ran into each other and had booths close by, but what your organization does and what your own story has just left an imprint. In fact, when we were going through season 4's guest list, and I was like, there's one that we have to talk to. Yes. I said she has blonde curly hair. And she always Googling. Yeah, because I am the worst. I remember your face, but I'm the worst at names. So we started Googling, and then I was like, there she is. And so we found you. It was meant to be. But I would love for you to just share with everyone. Start with your why, because it is pretty powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the best part, is that we all have something that calls us to a mission. And for me, I have been an ER nurse for 22 years. So for a long time. And about 12 years ago, I was working in the ER at a local hospital here, and we had a 15-year-old that checked in with abdominal pain. She was triaged, her vital signs taken and all of those questions that we ask, and then she was placed back into the lobby, where she then proceeded to go to the bathroom in the lobby and deliver her baby by herself.
Oh my goodness.
She put this little guy in the garbage can in the bathroom. And about 10 minutes later, we believe 10 to 15 minutes later, a housekeeper went in there to doing her normal rounds, and she found this little baby boy. And so at that point, a code was called, just like you see on TV, and everybody responded to that bathroom, where we did everything we could to try to save his little life, and then moved him back to a room where we were unsuccessful in saving him. And so it was very traumatic, I think, for everyone. And of course, my story, connects with this because our oldest son got pregnant the first time he had sex in high school, and they were 15 years old. And so at the time that this little baby passed away, our grandson was 2 weeks old. Wow. And so it really hit home for me that this could have been our grandson. It's someone's grandson. Mm-hmm. And it just really impacted me. So I started volunteering anywhere I could get information out about Safe Haven, because this poor girl was now going to go to jail, and she was going to face all these legal repercussions and the trauma of what has happened. And she'll be carrying that for the rest of her life, when she was actually at a Safe Haven provider. A hospital is a Safe Haven provider in every state. So I started to volunteer out in the community wherever I could set up a booth and pass out information. And that led to being asked to take over the Arizona Safe Baby Haven Foundation as the director, which I didn't run a nonprofit, right? I'm a nurse. So it was a huge curveball for me. And they dropped off a lot of boxes, and I had to basically learn how to run a nonprofit from the ground up. We rebuilt. So I did that. And then years later was kind of trying to figure out how I could connect the dots, because I know there are other Safe Haven organizations in the country, and I was trying to learn best practices and how we can support parents in the best way. And I started connecting nationally, and then was approached after creating a kind of a national database. I was approached about 4 years ago to take over the national program. So now I'm kind of running Arizona too, and I am the director for the National Safe Haven Alliance.
Wow. Your life kind of changed.
Yes.
Real fast. But I love that you followed your heartbreak and
Yeah.
you followed your passion and the doors that God's opened up for you. And every time I talk to you, I think that's what stands out to me is like your passion and your urgency. And it's like, we've got to help and save these babies. And
Yeah.
this doesn't have to happen, you know? And I just love that you guys are, you know, judgment free. And how, I mean, you've shared a few stories with me and I'd love for you to share, but I know sometimes you try, whenever someone calls, you're trying to figure out like, is this really like you're done, or is this more of you just need a break, and like really caring about her and the mom and where she's at? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So the National Safe Haven Alliance and many of the nonprofit organizations that operate in this realm, we really try to equip safe haven providers and parents with the safest options, because honestly, when we get these calls, and we get probably over approximately 500 calls a year, and this year has already been much busier, which is interesting. But um, they're never situations that we have a lot of time to react.
Yeah.
Although occasionally we'll get calls from women that are pregnant and trying to make a decision. But generally speaking, the calls that we get are emergencies. They're crises. And these women, I would say at least 50% of the time, did not know that they were pregnant.
Wow.
And I know people always roll their eyes and they, have a reaction to that. And I used to too, because I'm a nurse. And so you wonder, how is that possible that you don't know you're pregnant? But a lot of these times, these people's lives are a crisis. So the baby really isn't the crisis. Their life is the crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And whether it's the pregnancy denial syndrome or whatever might be occurring in their personal life, they did not know they were pregnant. And so now they're delivering at home in a bathtub or at a friend's house or in a car, or they're rushed to a hospital and trying to make a decision very quickly. And so our team is really set up to, I think initially years and years ago, the safe haven law and that structure was the initial problem to address. And that was really the only focus. And since I have kind of started taking over the national program a number of years ago, we really wanted to incorporate a more holistic approach. And so our team, when we receive a crisis call, we usually can work through this communication model pretty quickly, but we want to address what prevents them from parenting. And that is a big one, because 50 to 60% of the time, they have all of these other issues that are preventing them from parenting. And I know, from listening to your podcast, and I read your book, and which I love this book, by the way, it's amazing.
Oh,
and
thanks.
that we need to fill those gaps first and find out, if we fill these gaps, if we fix these issues, if we get you daycare that doesn't cost $3,000 a month for a newborn, or, fill the needs, can you parent this child? And parent for, 18 to 25 years, right? Because we know that it's not just a 1 month or a baby shower in a box, which we have a program that we are able to send out. But we want to really equip them to do this. And so we oftentimes connect them to Embrace Grace, and we oftentimes can fill those needs. And when we do, we see that these women, once we remove the crisis, once we kind of work through that a little bit, that they are able to see a future. Whereas in that immediate moment, they don't see a future, and they're scared for their child, and they're scared for themselves. So, for that phone call, we really try to address that. Now, that being said, there are moments that I've had calls. In fact, I had an email one morning that I woke up to where a woman said, I had delivered a baby on someone's couch. I don't live here. I don't have a home. I need to know where to go. And so she didn't want to give me her phone number. We only interacted by email. And so I tried to ask her, would you like to talk about other options? She said, no, I need to know where to take this baby. So within an hour of that email, when I woke up in the morning, she had dropped her baby off at a fire station.
Wow.
And he was safe, thank goodness. And then we were able to help support the mother for a period of time after that. But so sometimes we have to fast forward that communication and, get to the safety aspect.
Right.
But we do try to address the parenting, and then we try to address whether or not they've considered adoption, because our heart really lies there instead of safe haven, because I think right now you're in a crisis and you may not want to be a part of this situation. You just are looking for the fix. But in 5 years, when your life has settled and you feel that you're in a better place, maybe you want to have pictures or you want to know what's going on. And with Safe Haven, it's a much more difficult path to travel in getting that information. So we want to talk about adoption and make sure they understand what that process is. And we connect with adoption agencies all across the country, but we meet with the agencies prior to recommending them to a woman. So Abide and Love Adoptions, very focused on birth mothers. And that is where we are, because for our purpose, we're dealing with women that are, and parents, I should say, women and men that are dealing with this crisis, and we need that focus to be on them. Mm-hmm. And so we use adoption agencies that predominantly only focus on the birth parents, because that's what they need. So we work through that. And again, 50% of the time when they have felt that they were going to need to use the Safe Haven law, they will choose adoption. And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And so is it okay if I share a story?
Yes, we've got time. I want to hear it.
Okay, awesome. So we have an annual conference every year, and every year at the conference, we get a crisis call during the conference. It's a strange God thing. And so this year, I was presenting, and I was the one on call. And so during that time, I had to hand off to one of my staff members, and I took a phone call where a mother actually was in Arizona, and she did not know she was pregnant for up to about 6 months. So her story was that she had left her boyfriend. They were living together, still living in the same house in separate rooms. And she had an event that occurred. And then fast forward 6 months, she still had her period. She didn't have anything change, but she was having abdominal pain. And she went to the doctor. They told her she was pregnant. And she was now back together with a boyfriend, still living in the same house. So she kept that pregnancy hidden. And because of COVID, he couldn't go to the hospital when it was time for her to deliver. So she went to the hospital, kept everything secret, and then called our hotline while she was in active labor.
What if one box could save 2 lives? Well, we've created Love Boxes as an invitational gift for single and pregnant women to welcome them and to be a part of a local Embrace Grace support group, helping them to be brave in their choice for life. We ship Love Boxes for free to pregnancy centers all over the nation so that when they have a single and pregnant client walk in their doors, a Love Box can be placed in their hands. These boxes not only encourage a decision for life, but also invite single and pregnant women to join an Embrace Grace support group at a local church, inviting them to be a part of a spiritual family they will walk this season with, and if they'll allow it, their entire lives. To learn more about Love Boxes, visit www.embracegrace.com.
So after the conference ended that day, she asked if I would come to the hospital to be with her because she was all alone. And we discussed all of the options. She was very set on Safe Haven, and we discussed adoption. She said, I'd be willing to answer, some questions and ask some questions about that to have a better idea. So connected her to an adoption agency. We had a conference call. She was able to get some information. I stepped out to go to the restroom, and she called and said, can you come back? I'm delivering the baby. I want you here. So I rushed back into the room, and she delivered this beautiful baby boy and decided to make an adoption plan so that she could be a part of his life, even though she was keeping it secret from the rest of her life. And so,
wow.
But she chose life for him, and she enjoyed that time with him, and she chose a beautiful family who embraced her in her situation and loved her too, which was just a beautiful thing. So we really want to make sure that we work through that option before Safe Haven, which is the last option that we kind of talk about. And we tend to be what you would call the Safe Haven experts because that's our area of expertise, but we work with the providers. So oftentimes we have a hospital call and they'll tell us, we have a mother here, she's saying Safe Haven, we don't know what to do. And so we work with those state agencies, the hospitals, the fire departments, and we make sure that they understand the process and how to work through that and keep the mother and the baby safe.
Yeah, I actually have a friend that just within the last 12 months adopted a safe haven baby. And I don't know if there's other brands. I mean, she says it's a safe haven baby.
Yeah.
And that was dropped off at a hospital. And oh my goodness, he is adorable. And
He is beautiful.
it's just a miracle. And I'm just amazed about what you guys do. And so I think a lot of people don't know about where are safe places. You mentioned fire stations and hospitals. If someone is in that situation that's listening, and if they are pregnant or if someone knows someone like this, are those the two main places that you can, besides calling you guys obviously as well, that where they can drop off their baby and there would be no consequences?
Yeah, so the safe haven law is available in every state in the country and Puerto Rico. So we actually just helped Guam with their safe haven law. But the hospitals, I think if anyone's going to remember one thing, remember that a hospital is a safe haven location in every state. They're the easiest to remember. And then fire stations in 40 of the states are also safe haven providers. If there is a question, you can always go to our website. We have an interactive map, and you can click on your state. It tells you what the law is, because the age limit is different. So,
Okay.
like in Arizona, I just helped get the law changed, but we had a 3-day age limit. So the parents had to surrender that infant within 3 days, which we just got extended to 30 days in hopes that we give them a little more time. But
That's good.
so it goes all the way up to a year. I believe it's North Dakota or South Dakota that has 1 year, and but typically it's about 30 days in every state. So if there are questions, of course, you can call our hotline or get on the website, and it would tell you all the exact information.
That is awesome. Okay, and then are there ways that people can serve or connect with you guys? Like how can people help you guys? Obviously giving, which is huge.
Yes, of course. Yes.
And anything
We'd love
else besides that?
So we have some fun projects on our website. We are a nonprofit 501(c)(3), so any of your donations are tax deductible. But some of the programs include, and this has been a really amazing one. We call them baby love bags, and they're actually infant care packages that we give to the safe haven providers. So what we do is we put a newborn diaper, a receiving blanket, a onesie, and a baby hat, and we stick them in a baggie so they're sealed and clean. And then we put them in a gift bag with a safe haven sticker on them. These providers, fire stations, I'll just use that as an example, they'll hang it by the door. So if someone came to the door and surrendered a baby, they have this package. At the very least, they can wrap the baby up in a blanket, and they obviously would then transport the baby to the hospital. But it's been a really precious package because, and college students have been the best doing this last year. They will do as many as they can for their community, and they're dropping them off. So it's a great reminder for the fire departments that we are a provider, and then it's a great awareness tool for those people that are putting them together. So that's one of the projects. And then we have a couple of different programs, the Love Project, and it is where we actually put together a baby shower sprinkle is what it's called, but it's a baby shower in a box. And so kind of similar to what you all do. It's very, beautiful, but it all goes in a box for us. And we put beautiful tissue paper and ribbons, and we do diapers and wipes and bottles and blankets for the mom, and a necklace or a bracelet. And we oftentimes add gift cards for food or Target, and baby clothes, tons of baby clothes and toys. So that is, because these moms that we're talking about have not planned for a baby, oftentimes we need to do kind of similar to what Loveline does, and they really fill the needs in a very rapid response type of moment. So we get to send, car seats and strollers, all of the things. And then we have the Love Bundle, which is for moms or parents that have chosen a safe haven or chosen adoption. So we know that they also need love and support. And so we often work with them after they've chosen a plan for their baby, and we send them a box of love too. So those are some of the things that you can do. We also have the Keeping Mothers and Infants Together Fund, which, like I said, because of a little bit of the how we've evolved, we really want to make sure that we're supporting parents that want to parent their child. And so we had a mom. I'll tell you a quick story, if that is that okay?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So we received this call in December, and the mother called. She said she was a mother. She called the hotline. She had been sitting in the hospital parking lot for 6 hours. She had a 6-day-old baby that she delivered at the hospital and was living in her car. So she was taking care of this baby in her car. She had lost her job because of COVID. She had lost, her other children were staying with family members at that time because she couldn't afford to take care of them. So she was asking how she would safe haven the baby, what's the process. And again, like I said, we started to kind of talk with her and communicate about her situation and realized the biggest need was that she felt unsafe. She felt the baby was unsafe, and she was unsafe and wanted to make sure she could give the baby the best chance at life. So we asked her, if we can get you into housing, into a safe place with the baby, would that change this for you? And she said, oh, absolutely. I love her. I love her so much, but I want to give her a good life. So we paused the conversation there and said, let's see what we can do. And our team kind of pulled all of our efforts together, and we got her into a homeless shelter within about 3 or 4 hours. And then we pulled together to get her a used laptop because of the work she was doing. She needed that. We sent her a baby shower sprinkle. We sent all kinds of, gift cards for her to buy food and get on her feet. And then she let us know about a month and a half later that she found a place, and she had her children back with her living in this place.
That's amazing.
And she had her baby. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful ending. So, we really try to just be there for the parents in the way they need us, not how we feel they need us, but really how they need us.
It's so empowering. That's so good. Thank you, Heather, so much for sharing about what you guys are doing and about your why and how people can get involved. We're totally cheering you on here in Texas, and we love partnering with you guys. And I know you guys have reached out several times for love boxes and things like that, which we're happy to do anytime you guys need, or getting them these moms connected to Embrace Grace groups if they choose to parent or place for adoption, either one. But we're just thankful for you. So thank you so much. And tell everyone, how can they connect to your organization? What are the best ways to find you?
So the website, of course, it's a long name, but National Safe Haven Alliance. So that's the website. Our hotline, which is if you're a parent or provider and you need signs or support, you can call that, and it's 1-888-510-2229. And then, of course, we have all of the social media. So that's all at Safe Baby Haven. You can find us there.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Heather, so much.
Thank you, guys. I'm going to give you a big hug. Hopefully, I'll see you at the end of June, huh?
Yeah, hopefully.
Awesome. Well, it was great talking with you guys. I really appreciate you sharing this information, too. And thank you for everything you all do.
She said a statement during that talk about the crisis. And she said, the pregnancy isn't the crisis. Their life is a crisis. And that is so profound and so powerful, because an unexpected pregnancy, it's not the baby most of the time that everybody's freaking out about. It's about the circumstances surrounding it. What does it mean? Where am I going to live? All the fear things that come over them. And I love that they're the National Safe Haven Alliance, but the Safe Haven is their last stop and their process with these families, these moms, and that's powerful.
Yeah. And they just really kind of help them see the bigger picture and determine, is this an actual, a moment where we need to intervene, or can we help you
remove the obstacles?
Yeah, remove the obstacles for you to be able to parent, especially since a lot of them, I think she said over 50%, just didn't even realize that they were pregnant, or maybe, for whatever reason.
That's
and
crazy.
So life is going to slap you in the face a little bit if you're just all of a sudden having stomach pains, and then
I'm having a baby in 3 months.
or right now.
Oh my
I mean,
goodness.
she had stories about right now. And
Oh my
so
gosh. This is like the definition of helping her be brave.
yeah, for sure. But I'm just so proud of the work they're doing all around the nation. Totally amazing. So please get connected to what they are doing there and see how you can get involved. And also, if you are still not sure where to get involved, go check out helperbebrave.com. You can take a quiz and find out what strengths and talents and gifts that you have that where you can contribute to the pro-life movement. And also check out my book, Help Her Be Brave book, Discover Your Place in the Pro-Life Movement. You'll love both. And also just listen to all of the amazing podcasts before this one. This was season 4. So we have 3 seasons before this with lots of great interviews and lots of great organizations that we're highlighting, or people that are really making a difference. And so jump in where you can. We need you in the movement. Together we can make abortion unthinkable, and we need you. So check all of that out. Please share this podcast with your friends, either by YouTube or Spotify or iTunes. Tell your friends to watch and subscribe. We would love to chat with them every week through our podcast, and keep continuing to give you great ideas of how you can help save lives. Thank you so much for watching this week.